Why do we care about songs? You know, I think about my 83-year-old mother. Can't remember her GPA in high school, or she can't remember the score of the basketball game that she was the highest point scorer in. You know, she can't even remember my own birth. Like, she really can't remember the details, but she remembers what songs were playing at the Opry House that she used to go dance in as a teenager. She remembers it very clearly. And even today, as she hears those old songs, it brings up a feeling for her, a memory, and a joy that she may not be accessing today. And I think that's why we care about songs. I think they just have that much power. The way that I get my song ideas has changed over the years since I began as a songwriter. When I first signed to a publisher and was paid to write a song every single day, I was frantically always looking for ideas. And I would get books and read poetry and watch movies. Oh my gosh, I'd go to 4 movies a week and I'd write down lines in my notebook while I was watching them. And I was always looking for the great idea. I very rarely got any great ideas from that. But where I really get my best ideas is from life, is from listening and observing and just watching people and the human behavior and why we feel the way we feel, why we act the way we act, why we're in a situation that we get ourselves into, or that, you know, is brought upon us. And so today, I don't even think about getting an idea. Today, it's more, you know, I feel the spark when I'm talking to someone and they are sharing their story and I go, oh, I could write about that in a song. And I don't even necessarily start with a title. I just start with a feeling. How do you begin writing a song? Everyone begins differently, so I'll just share with you my process. Today, I don't sit down and force myself to write a song because it's the day to do that. Today, I just start a song because I'm inspired to sit down at the piano and start playing. You know, I have a commitment to the level of songwriting that I do and the kind of songs that I put out into the world. And it may be different from other songwriters. When I started, I certainly got swept up into the business of write the songs that are the hits that will make you the most money, that will make your publisher the most money, that will make you the most well-known, that will get you the most gigs, that will make you the most popular of all in the industry. And I was certainly on that track, and it was a miserable one. And I really got away from what my calling was from the very beginning, and that was writing songs that just heal the soul and feel really good. And at the end of my life, I want to be known for that. So there was a certain point in my career where I had to really go and look for, what do I want to be known for? So that's how I start a song. I look at the subject, I look at the genre, you know, I look at the whole album as a whole, if I'm writing for an artist, and go, okay, what's going to fit this album? You know, I do look at the marketing aspect of it, but that takes like 2 minutes, and then I spend hours on, what does this mean? What is this for? And then I write the song. I think the differences between writing for genres is pretty great. I can't pretend to teach you how to write for rap or hip-hop genre because that's not something I've experienced in my career. But writing for country, for instance, I mean, there's an entire craft and commitment and responsibility that comes with that kind of lyric for a country song. And some of those guys have done it 20, 30 years and studied and written every single day to craft those kind of lyrics. Now, to the pop genre, it's not that essential, unfortunately. You know, a lot of our songs are about DJs and clubs and dancing and baby, baby, and, you know, it's unfortunate. Not a lot of our pop songs really have the commitment to the lyric that country does. But the pop melody and the music and that production is just number one. If you don't have that production, that really unique, big pop sound, your song's probably not going to go too far. Whereas country music, you can use 3 chords. Everyone uses the same 3 chords, and they get produced by the same 5 producers, and they all work. So there's a huge difference between those genres. Christian music, you know, that genre is completely different as well. I mean, you can pretty much write a pop song for Christian music, but put a Christian lyric to it. But, you know, how many Christian songs are there? You know, to say something brand new for that market can be really difficult. So it really takes some effort in writing something unique. R&B and hip hop, it's much more team-based. There's 6 or 7 people sometimes writing on each song, and they might not even be in the same room at the same time. You know, a beat guy will come in and lay down a beat, and then a couple hours later, bass guy will come in and lay down a bass line. And then, you know, someone will come in and throw down a lyric to it and throw down a hook even. Not even a whole lyric, just a hook, just an idea. And people just keep coming in and throwing in on it. And that's why you see 7, 8, 9 writers on some of these songs. So that's a whole different process. I've been fortunate enough to have cuts in a lot of different genres, but I've also just stayed committed to writing what I know. I haven't grown up on the streets, so I don't write those songs. You know, I grew up on a farm in Kansas, I can write that song. I grew up in church, so I can write that song. I grew up listening and loving pop music, and that was my biggest influence. I can write those songs. So when you're choosing genre, I think it's important just to write what you know. I think the most important thing that I can share with any songwriter or artist or producer getting into this business is to just get to really know yourself and to know your strengths. You don't have to be great at everything. You don't have to be the brilliant lyricist and the brilliant musician and the brilliant producer. You can do one of them really well. And there's a lot of people in our industry that do just one. So you don't have to have everything. But you do have to have a calling and a desire and something in you that says, I don't know what else I would do. You know, if there's a backup plan or something else that you know you could do instead, then you should probably go do that. Because this business, you know, especially in these times, is requiring great artists and people with something to say and people who are writing from a necessity, not just someone who would do it for fun because it sounds glamorous. It is a lot of hard work. It does take a lot of effort. It takes a lot of self. You don't have to go out there and be like everyone else so that you can get noticed, and certainly don't enter this business to prove to somebody that you are good enough. So know yourself, be true to yourself, give yourself a shot, and share your gift with the world. You never know what could happen.